Welcome back, everyone. This week's Picture of the Week being brought to you by Flowers. Hey, it's not Garden Center anymore right now. It's Deer Processing.
Yes,
Let me tell you something. They are elbow deep in them right now. Just keep them coming. I promise you, you're going to love the way they fix them up because they get them done at Flowers. Our first picture here, this is Miss Doris Jones caught this nice catfish with worms at Shelby Park. And I want to give a big shout out to my good friend, Terry Peoples. Terry's the one that sent me this picture and said, Hugh, can you put it on the show? I said, anything for Terry Peoples. I'll help Terry Peoples any way I can. So, Miss Doris, you got a great friend, as I do, in Terry Peoples. Our next one here, you got to show something like this, ladies and gentlemen. This is Cullen Whitaker from Harlan County, Kentucky. This is the first elk kill of the season in Kentucky. That is a very nice bull. And by the way, Kentucky, this is Eastern Kentucky, but by the way, they are getting more and more elk being taken in Kentucky. So that says a great thing about Kentucky wildlife. They are doing an awesome job. Hey, one of your own here, Jody. This is Tasha Wooten with her first bow kill of the season. It just happened to be a turkey. Now that's bragging rights, brother. I don't care who. I mean, that's not as big as a deer, but she had to aim small, miss small. she had to do a great job, Tasha. You're awesome yourself. And Chris Snow had to send this to me this morning to make me jealous. He's fishing on Center Hill. He said they are definitely on the spook bite on top water. This is a nice 5-pounder that he caught just right off the bat on Center Hill Lake. Hey, you can send your pictures to us here at Southern Woods and Waters, 474 James Robertson Parkway, Nashville, Tennessee, 37219, or simply email them to me at hugh@southernwoodsandwaters.com. We'll get them on here really fast. All right. Let me tell you what we're going to talk about tonight. We're talking about kids. And the reason I say that is because not this weekend now. This weekend is the Carl Perkins Bass Classic and a few other things going on. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. But next weekend, October 17th and 18th, is going to be the starting of kids, the youth hunt in Kentucky. They open it next weekend. Well, it's not but a couple of more weeks after that, then Tennessee has it. They have their own youth hunt. So we're going to talk about how to get youth interested in going, first of all, and then when they do go, what are some tips that you need to do? And let me tell you something, some of them are hard to do. I'm going to tell you, they're really hard to do. But if you'll do them, then these kids will keep wanting to come back, okay? So let's broaden down. I want to talk, Jody, first of all, fishing. We're in the fall type fishing right now, and that has to be one of the funnest times of the year to catch fish.
Certainly is. It is.
Whether it's bass, catfish,
crappie, catfish, what we call it's coming around to the fall crappie season.
That's it.
So around what most people around here call it. So
well, you know as well as I
fishing
do.
Anytime.
You and I have talked about this many times. Kids love action.
But that's true.
They're not going to sit there long without, that one especially. They're not going to sit there long without being involved.
They got to be involved, and hopefully, if you can get them to the point where they catch something, I mean, once they catch something, they're hooked. So try to take, looks like Brooklyn, I've been taking her for years now. She loves to fish with me. She'll go practically any time I want to go.
Yeah.
But we have to find a spot where she can catch something most of the time. But,
yeah.
I mean, kids, their attention span, tends to be a lot shorter than what ours is. But if you can get a bite, catch something on the line, she's good to go.
She's good to go.
Yep.
And the bigger the fish is,
the bigger is the better.
The more laps you can have in between bites.
Yeah.
So you got to take that into consideration. But wouldn't you say that, like bluegill or catfish or crappie would be the best bets to go?
That's the best way to start out, to get them started, get them interested in it. First of all, you got to have somebody that's willing and wants to take them.
Yeah.
You got to have a little bit of patience when you're fooling with kids.
That's right.
And But they do good. But once, like I said, once they start catching fish, if they catch a few fish, in her case, she's hooked. She'll
ever
always
fish with
fish.
crickets?
She's fished with crickets. What
Will
all
she
you
bait
fish
her on
with?
hook?
I fish with crickets, worms, basically
And minnows.
anything.
And minnows?
Minnows.
Brooklyn, do you bait your own hook?
Most of the time.
No,
I can't
wait a
bait-
minute now. This is a
can't-
public show.
I can't.
We're
bait-
going into a bunch of homes here. I need to know. Will you put a cricket on a hook?
I will not put a cricket on a hook, but I will put a worm and a minnow
Why would you do a cricket?
because they poke me.
They poke you. You're hearing it live right here on Southern Woods and Waters. But how do they poke you? He's got little legs. He's sitting there going. Come on, Brooklyn. I mean, you gotta use. I mean, that's part of the
I
success of fishing. I think is to bait your own hook.
I know. I try to most of the time.
Do you take your own fish off?
No.
What? So we're just halfway there. We're not even fully a fisherman yet. We're halfway there, right?
It's a work in progress.
It's a work in progress.
Catfish is a different story.
Well, you do catfish now.
I do catfish.
Tell them how big that catfish was that when we went jugging that night.
30 pounds.
That's right. It was the first one, and you whopped it and got it in the boat.
Yes.
I was so proud of you, bear hugging it like no tomorrow. And
She did.
screaming.
did.
That's the other thing. I
It
forgot.
was screaming.
We've got that on video. You know that.
Oh,
We
my.
got the screams. Yes, we do have the
Yes, we
screams.
do.
We're thinking about using them for a horror house, because it's the same kind of scream. But, well, I'm saying that you were super excited. We were jugging, and you caught the first fish. You and your grandpa here caught the first one, and Wanda was in the boat.
She wouldn't touch
we're not
the
even
jug.
going. We're not even.
She
No.
would touch the jug. She would not.
She
Unless it
screamed
didn't
just
have
as
it.
loud as you did.
No, actually.
We have it on video.
Actually, I think she screamed a little
A
louder.
little louder,
than me.
yeah, probably did. But I want to say, how old are you, Brooklyn?
I'm 10.
10.
I'm 10.
Okay. You go to what school?
South Haven Christian.
South Haven Christian in Springfield, Tennessee. What would you tell some of your classmates and some other kids that are 10 years old about fishing?
I usually tell them. Well, I've got 2 friends that went on a houseboat with us, and they pretty much enjoyed.
Now,
Every
wait a minute.
second of it.
Y'all didn't do no fishing. Y'all were
Yeah,
I took
jumping
them
off
out.
the slides. And
I took them one
Did you
time.
take them
Yeah,
one
I got
time?
to take them out the day the storm.
Was that
come
when I
out.
was napping?
Probably.
Well, they enjoyed it though, right?
Yeah,
Would they like to go back, you think?
probably so.
Why do you think that they enjoyed it, and why do you think they would come back?
I think they enjoyed it just being out there and being able to see other people doing it and
Okay.
pulling in fish.
Because y'all caught some, and so everybody had fun, and
they
so
were-
that's good.
They were seeing fish like all around the boat, and we were trying
Okay,
to catch
now
them.
you're giving us some of your best experiences. What is probably the worst experience you've ever had in the outdoors?
Oh me.
Should we skip you for a little bit, let you think about it?
No.
You got it?
Yes.
Good. I want to hear it.
It's pretty easy.
But if my name comes up, I'm gonna.
Actually, me and him were fishing, and we never caught a single fish.
That does get
We
pretty
never
bad.
got a bite.
Okay,
Not a
we're just
bite.
gonna take that angle of the year away from him. He didn't deserve it.
Oh, come on now, it happens
It
sometimes.
does happen. It does happen. Well, that's awesome. Now I want to move over here to Kevin. Kevin, you do both hunting and fishing,
I do.
and we've really gotten big into the kayak fishing stuff and doing that. Now Hayden goes fishing and Hope goes fishing
They
with him.
do.
Tell us, how did you get them started? How did you get them started, Kevin?
Small with bluegill,
Yeah.
something that bites a lot. Just using little pieces of hot dog and fish wear them out.
They do, and hot dogs are good. I
They
forgot
are.
about hot dogs being so good.
They
A
are.
hot dog is really good. And then they start catching them. And do you use bobbers?
Yes, we did use bobbers.
The kids love to use bobbers,
They
don't they?
love to use bobbers.
Is it just the thing going
Movement.
down? The movement.
Movement.
They like that.
Action.
Action. That's right. If it goes down, it's time to jerk.
That's right. That's right.
Well, Hope is how old now?
How old are you, Hope?
4.
4. Okay. And you've been fishing for how many years? 5?
4.
Oh, 1. Okay. All right. Well, we hope to keep you around and a long time fishing. Now, what about Hayden? Hayden, how old are you now?
I'm 8.
8. How long you been fishing?
Couple years.
A couple.
All right. All right. What now, Hayden? What kind of fish do you like to catch?
Well, I do like to catch regular fish, like fish to eat.
Oh, like crappie and catfish and stuff like that?
Yep.
Okay, all right, all right. Now, do you like to use a bobber? Oh, okay.
Kids love bobbers.
Kids love bobbers. That's just pure and
It's
simple.
true.
It is very true. All right, well, we've got the fall season coming on. Great time to get the kids out. It's cool. It's not too hot. Bugs are going to be down. Insects are going to be down. Easier fishing because the fish are going to be mainly up towards the shallows, so they're going to be able to catch them a little bit more frequent than hardcore summertime. Wintertime, that's a different story. I'm telling people, you know, if you want to get a kid involved, try not to go when it's 10 degrees outside.
Right.
I mean, you're going to lose these kids. They're going to go, my fingers hurt, my toes hurt, my feet are cold. I don't want to go outside. So they may not love fishing as much as we do, and
Right.
they're not as hardcore about it as we are. So don't force them. Would
Right.
y'all agree?
Yes, sir.
Correct.
Just
100%.
go when it's nice and easy, and it's easy for them, and that they can enjoy it. And it can be a little cool. You could be in the 40s. I'd say, but after freezing, I wouldn't carry them out there.
Yeah, you wouldn't ever get them to go back. I don't believe you did.
And I sure wouldn't carry them across the lake at 40
Don't
mile an hour.
And you don't want to take them in the dead of summer when it's 100 degrees outside.
You're
That'll-
exactly
that
right.
will definitely ruin them right off the bat.
Springtime's a great time. Fall's time is a good time.
Yeah.
So now, what about hunting, Kevin? I mean,
I started.
hunting's a little different.
It is. I started taking Hayden hunting a couple of years ago. He just tagged along. If he wanted to play games on the phone, he got to play games on the phone, just no sound.
Right.
And we tried to
Right.
whisper. If he got cold, we went home. But it was important to get him out there and not force him to stay out there, because if we force them to stay out there, they're not going to want to go back the next time.
And that's a great point. Now, and I want to add to that just a little bit, Kevin, that when a kid says they're ready to go, I think you should go.
Right.
Now, do you agree?
Yeah, we've been back and forth about deer season this year because he's never been hunting himself.
Right.
We've been practicing shooting a rifle, and he's back and forth. One day he does, one day he don't. If he wants to go, that's great. If he wants to wait another year, that's great too. It's what he wants to do.
It's what he wants to do.
Right.
And Hayden being 8, you feel like, and I do too, I feel like at 8 years old, they ought to be able to make a decision whether they want to go or not.
Right, right.
Now, if they want to go, oh man, let's go.
Great.
We're ready. We're ready. If they don't, I'm going to pawn them off on their mamas. And I'm going to go.
There's a problem in our house because Mom hunts too. So,
Mom wants to.
yeah.
Okay. You're just going to have to do your own thing then, guys, if you got mamas like that. But, you know, to add to that, if they don't want to go, then go do something interesting for them.
Right.
Do something they want to do. And then parents get involved with something that they want to do. And if you'll do this reciprocal thing, sometimes doing what they want to do,
Right.
sometimes doing what you want to do, I think you got it. It's easier. I know Ty, my grandson, it's much, much easier for me to get him outside, because when he wants to come inside, there's no question. We'll come on inside.
Right.
And then we do things together. We've gone to the picture show, and yes, Madagascar and all that. I've seen it all. I've seen Transformers and all of it. I mean, that's because he decided that's what he wanted to do. and I'm fine with that. But then we have my time when I can carry them hunting.
Right.
And now, do you do the same thing with Brooklyn?
Brooklyn has been turkey hunting with me. She hasn't been deer hunting, which I'm not an avid deer hunter. I do like to deer hunt, but I like turkey hunting, and she went with me last year, and she was actually with me when
You got the
the
turkey?
last turkey that I shot.
That's
She was
right.
with me. Yeah.
And is that for Thanksgiving? Did we save that for Thanksgiving?
He's still in the freezer.
But even on that, what did you feel that day, Brooklyn? What did you feel like that day?
I was happy because we finally got a turkey. We'd been
Okay, now you put the adjective in there, finally. Now, were you bored? Were you in a blind, first of all?
No, we were in a little tiny building. I was sitting there telling
It was a little blind.
a tiny.
Call it a little blind.
In a little blind, okay. And I'm gonna say that's another great tip, ladies and gentlemen, is I would carry the youngsters in a blind, a ground blind first of all, is what I'd start them off with. And you can see game and animals and everything just as well through that. You may not get that trophy buck, but you'll be able to see deer, and they'll be able to experience it with you, and they'll be able to experience turkeys and all that. So I say get a blind before you go up trees. I definitely say let's get comfortable with the hunting situation on the ground,
Right.
then before we go to the trees. All right. Hey, we've got some great tips coming up in here for you. We're gonna open them up a little bit more in this next segment. But first, we got to go visit some of our fine sponsors that help make this show possible for you each and every week. Go on by there, check them out.